Hi, today I just want to share a quick thought with you. Our whole staff is going through Developing the Leader Within You, and in this book by John Maxwell, I'm sure many of you have already read it, but it talks about the different levels of leadership, and the very bottom of the leadership scale is the position leadership, where people do what you say because you hold a title, you wear a badge, you're a manager. You know that if you don't do what they say, you could get fired or not get your paycheck. So it's a very shallow end of ministry, but it does come with some level of respect, but it's minimal based on your job title. And then the next level up that we're studying is permission. People do what you say or follow you because they like you, because they think that you genuinely care about them. You've heard 100 times, they don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. Well, that is so true. If it applies in the corporate world, it applies exponentially in the church world. We have to care about people and not just expect them to do what we say because, we said so. They're going to buy into it if they know that you care for them. You get permission from them to lead them. Now, leadership is simply one word definition. It has a one word definition, and it's influence. If you have the power to influence people, then you are a leader. You may not even have the title, but if you have power to influence, then you are a leader in that person's life. And the thought that I wanted to elaborate on was I was thinking of a story of a very sad story, and I've heard it in several different applications, and they're all true, where a child was either lost or drowned when they were in a large group of people. They were in a group of adults, and the adults were caring and loving and mature. They were good adults, and they loved the child. And right in the middle of all this crowd of adults, this child drowned, just sunk right to the bottom of the lake, or was taken from their midst. The problem is not that they didn't love the child, not that they weren't present, but everybody thought the other person was watching the child. Everybody assumed that it was someone else's responsibility to have their eyes on them and make sure that they didn't sink or weren't in trouble. But here was this vulnerable child that was lost in the midst of what should have been a safe place. And I'm afraid that sometimes that happens in our churches, that they're among us and we love them and we're good people and there's a lot of us and they're among us, but sometimes they're sinking and they're vulnerable and they're being tugged under, and we think it's everybody else's responsibility to reach out to them. It's time that we took personal responsibility. Even if there are 10 other people watching them, you can't have too many, but assume that nobody else is talking to them, praying with them, calling them, mentoring them. Don't let them slide from our very midst whenever it should be a safe place for them. We need to pay attention when they start to sink in their cries for help. We're not so busy talking to one another. Do we love them? Of course we do. Do we want them to sink? No. And it's foolish and even hateful to suggest that we would feel that way. But yet, at the same time, they're dying nonetheless. So make sure that we provide a safe place, an attentive place, where we are responsible guardians for those among us who are young in the faith or just going through a hard time in life. And you are your brother's keeper. So be sensitive to that today. Ask God to lead you and to go to someone that might need rescuing today, because you may be that person sometime. And just be aware that you can't assume everybody else is watching after them. Take personal responsibility and reach out to them, even if they're not like you, even if they're new, it's uncomfortable. Bridge that gap. Do not assume someone else is going to do it, because if everybody assumes someone else is going to do it, guess who does it? Nobody. And they become just prey for the enemy to come in and snatch right out because they're not guarded. So I just felt to say that to you, and I hope that God will lead you to somebody to love and truly show the love of God to someone today. And let's not let one more person drown while we assume they're in someone else's care.